Hey folks, Cornell with YouTubeFISHINGVIDS. I'm out here on my local lake finally. It's been actually a while since I've been out here. 6 minutes from my house, Little Seneca Lake, one of the most heavily pressured lakes in the state of Maryland. Crystal clear, except for the fact that I'm on the very back end of the lake where I found a tiny tinge of water, which is where I really want to be, considering how clear it is up front. I've talked to a handful of guys and they've been struggling today. So I know it's going to be a challenge here in the middle of the summertime, but this month's Mystery Tackle Box Pro Box, I swear, has my name written all over it, and I feel like it's got Little Seneca Lake's name written all over it because it's got some stuff in here that is absolutely exactly what I need for this time of the year and this particular lake. So let's break into it and show off how awesome the load is in this Mystery Tackle Box. First one out of the box is a really unique new concept by Duo Realis. That's actually the cambio spin. Look at the blades on that bait. Completely different idea, completely different flash, completely different thump coming out of that little golden shiner natural pattern 3/8 ounce spinner bait. So I'm excited to throw that. I've got a nice breeze today. There's no reason why I can't necessarily get a bass out of Little Seneca Lake on a spinner bait at times. So I'm gonna throw that, see what I can do. A lot of bass are way down deep. I've got 86-degree water. It's warm out here, and after a heat wave here in the mid-Atlantic with 105 to 110 degree heat indexes, it's tough with power fishing. So we'll see what we can do, but that's at least a finessier style spinnerbait that can entice hopefully some of these finicky bass. All right, next coming out of the box. This is gonna be fun for later. It's mid-afternoon, it's about 2 o'clock right now. I'm gonna be fishing all the way till dark. I got myself a hollow-bodied itty-bitty little rat. So this is little hollow-bodied rat by Kahara, skirted rat and tats. So you all know how much I love to throw that little baby frog. That's about the size of that little baby frog. Kind of a finessey deal when it comes to a hollow-bodied rat. So we're gonna throw that out there in some of the cover I have here on the backside of the lake as the shade is cast by some of the trees as the sun dips, and as the sun dips in general, we're gonna throw a hollow-bodied rat and see if we can get a topwater bite. No brainer right here. It's a little tricky. It's black and blue, but there's a 3/8 ounce Booza brush bug by Zorro. So black and blue jig. I'm gonna maybe jazz it up with maybe a trailer that's maybe an off color. I might do a green pumpkin, maybe get it a little more natural looking color, and in some of the dark shade pockets and things like that in the cover. There's no brainer that a jig can usually get a bite, but again, it's a tricky lake. Jigs are tough, but we'll play. All right, next one coming out of the box. This is where it gets really interesting, and this is where I really believe that this box was truly made for me and my lake. I got KVD Perfect Plastics. I got the Dream Shot. You all know how much I love to drop shot, so I got a drop shot bait in my Mystery Tackle Box. So there's a no-brainer, real natural patterned. And I'm going to jump forward on the card a little bit because how am I going to set this up? I'm going to do a nose hook job. A lot of my drop shotting is done with some Texas rigging, but now I've got the Trapper Tackle drop shot hook. So check out the concept of that. If you haven't seen some of the other videos done this month on this particular hook, or if you haven't seen this hook in general, it's got a completely different concept of design that not only holds your drop shot differently, but actually locks your fish in a little bit differently once you get them hooked up on your drop shot. So Trapper Tackle with my Dream Shot is going to be a heck of a combo, but I got to tell you, even better, out here on Little Seneca Lake, take a look what Ketchco did. Ketchco's got the Shimmer Shad in 4-inch with a built-in foil body that gives a crazy flash, super natural looking, natural eyes. I can't wait to throw this thing. And on that Trapper Tackle hook, nose hooked, it should be an absolutely incredible bait. So that's going to be great. Ketchco's doing it up with some incredible soft plastic. So thank you, Ketchco. And how can you not go drop shotting without some drop shot weights? So again, Ketchco hooking us up. We've got a 1/4 ounce and a 3/8 ounce. We got a cylindular style for some grass and that type of cover, and we've got a little round ball 3/16 ounce and a 1/4 ounce little drop shot weight. So we got the entire drop shot set up, and you know I've got the drop shot arsenal, so it's time to put it all together. We're out here and I've got just a handful of hours to fish, so let's put it all together and let's just go fishing and see what we can do. Thanks for joining me. All right folks, well I got my Dream Shot all set up on my drop shot. I got that Trapper Tackle hook all set up, nose hooked with a basically just a 3/16 ounce cylindular style Ketchco drop shot weight. 5-pound test. Yes, it is 5-pound test. It is my drop shot special by Lew's 6'8" medium light extra fast with a Stratic CI4, super smooth drag, the perfect drop shot setup. This thing kills it. And yeah, 5-pound test out here is a no-brainer. It's going to get you that many more bites. You just got to play the fish. It offers a more natural presentation, a very stealthy presentation, and not everybody's throwing 5-pound tests. So when these fish see this bait drop in front of their face and they don't detect the line and they see a supernatural motion of the bait, it absolutely makes a big difference. So not only am I working with a real salted bait, you know, this KVD soft plastic's got salt all over it, I'm going to give it a spray of crawfish scent to add a little scent to soak into that salt that's already on it. That thing hits the bottom, those fish get up on it and they take one whiff of it, not to mention see the natural action. It should get ourselves a bite. So I'm working my way out here to a point. I've got some grass on the edge of this point. It is time to get this little drop shot going. So let's see if we can get ourselves the first fish of the day. Oh boy. Oh, I think we got our first fish of the day, and it was only the third cast, and it's a dink. Oh, it's a dink. I was hoping I was going to see something dramatic happen out here on a summer's day, but you know what? It only took literally like 3 casts to catch a fish on the Dream Shot, and you know that's not going to convince me to put it up and try another bait. I'm going to try and get something a little bit bigger than that. But there you go, that little trapper. Yeah, it locked him in pretty good. There's no question about that. I guess that's the idea. Boy, that is a tiny fish to start the day for this month's mystery tackle box, but that's the Dream Shot. I'll tell you, it'll catch tiny ones in any rope, any type of bait. When it comes to a drop shot, it'll catch big ones. It'll get tiny ones. So you just got to keep fishing until you get that monster. So let's get it back out there and see if we can get something a little bigger. Oh boy. If you all saw that cast, it was instantaneous, and it's a nice fish on the drop shot. I have been catching a bunch of little, what I love to call tick turds. I got that from a guy. That was a pretty funny way to put it, but this is a nice fish on the drop shot, guys. Really nice. I just moved and got on a point, and here we go. The first bait out of the mystery tackle box this month is a Dream Shot on that really, really cool trapper tackle hook. It's a good fish. Let's see what the heck's going on here with this hook too, and as long as I don't lose this fish on my 5-pound test, we're gonna get a good look at the way this trapper tackle hook buries itself. It's a good fish. Beautiful fish, chunky summertime bass out here on Little Seneca Lake. What a beauty. Come here. Been out here for a little while. It's like I said, there's a whole bunch of little fish out here. You're always going to catch a bunch on the edges. Whoa, wait till you see how this hook is buried in this guy. That makes a lot of sense. My goodness, check this out. I'll show it to you guys in the light on the chesty. Look at the way that hook is buried right behind the bone. It literally locked the fish in. I guess this is the concept. Lock the fish in right behind that piece of bone right there and that little bend of the hook. So the idea is to get that bend of the trapper right in the lock in the jaw. And look at the beautiful bass that is. Sun's perfect. Summertime bass, mystery tackle box. Thank you very much. Trapper tackle hook, 3/16 ounce cylinder style Catch Co drop shot weight, and a Dream Shot Strike King soft plastic. Fish number 1. So I guess if it's a no-brainer that I caught a fish on a drop shot on the Dream Shot, that I break out the Catch Co Shimmer Shad, the 4-inch Shimmer Shad. Look at that beautiful bait. All nose hooked, ready to go. Got that foil belly, that real natural profile. Check that up a little bit closer out of the package. Beautiful little bait. Okay, so we're gonna throw that back out on the same point. There's a bunch of cover there. There's some stumps, some weeds, a little drop off, so it makes sense that they're there. So let's see if there's another one ready to bite on a drop shot. Oh, I hope this is a fish, because if it is, it feels pretty nice. There's the Shimmer Shad. Yeah, that's a fish. Awesome. All right, Shimmer Shad strikes. Nice fish. 2 drop shot fish out of the mystery tackle box this month. That's awesome. This is the mystery tackle box drop shot slam right here. I got the drop shot weight, I got the trapper tackle sinker, and I've got now the Catch Co Shimmer Shad 4-inch, and it's a nice fish. Wow, I think this might be big. Yeah, this might be bigger than the last one. Maybe the same size. Oh, look at the way it's hooked. Oh my gosh, no, maybe exactly the same size. Wow, that's awesome. Let me turn this boat around so you can see this beauty. Look at that Shimmer Shad sticking out of its mouth, and that trapper, that hook is really doing the damage. It's doing what it's, I guess, designed to do. But check that out, beautiful fish, and there's the trapper, right there, right in the soft part of the underneath the hard part, in the soft part, right locked in, literally locked in the bend of that hook. So, trying to explain that 3 times fast. There you go, beautiful drop shot bass on the beautiful little Shimmer Shad Catch Co. Killer. Okay, cool. 2 nice bass with a few dinks to mix in that I'm not going to show you, because I'm going to show you the good ones. So there you go. That's only been probably, I'm just across from the point. I came over here to the bank. I got a little bit of wood, and that little drop off held that fish, and that was literally like the 2nd cast on it. So let's move on. I'm in an area where if you look over here, you got some fallen trees in the water. It's time to break out that black and blue jig. I'm going to throw that jig into some of this fallen timber and sunken wood, see if I can get something on a jig, and keep on moving through the baits. We've got one more. We got a power bait. We got one spinner bait to work with, and then hopefully later we'll pop something on that topwater rat. Okay folks, let's go ahead and position ourselves right in the same spot we caught that last drop shot fish. Play with that Zorro Booza brush bug. There's the jig that came out of the mystery tackle box, black and blue, but I went ahead and changed up the color, did a little color contrast. That's a green pumpkin net bait little pack of chunks. So I'm going to throw that out there in some of this wood and see if anything wants to cooperate on the jig. You know what, folks? I'm going to get back to the jig. It's blowing out here. There's actually a really good breeze, so I'm going to take advantage of what I've got for the time being, and I'm going to throw that really cool Duo Realis spinnerbait. And I've already got it tied on. I actually pulled it out of the package and got it all set up on my medium 7-foot Avid St. Croix rod, but I had no idea what I was dealing with when I opened the package. I thought it was a classic, you know, stiff-armed spinnerbait with just maybe some cool blades on it, but check this thing out. Completely flexible arms, like a titanium leader type material, completely soft, completely loose. And look at this thing in the water. I'm gonna try and get my GoPro to get a look at this thing. These blades are incredible. They offer up a completely different look, something totally different than what bass have seen. And I guess with that, you know, really soft arm concept, it's really going to put off a completely different thump in the water. Really cool color, kind of like a golden shad idea, but it's time to throw that with this breeze. So I'm going to throw this up on the banks around a little bit of cover, see if I can get a fish power fishing on my local lake, which is, oh gosh, it is so rare. I've done it. There's times when it works. So let's just see if right now is one of those times. So as I throw this killer Duo Realis spinnerbait, the more I think about it, the more I come to realize what I think the concept is. You know, when you get a fish on those stiff-armed spinnerbaits and that stiff arm is shaking around in their mouth, that's probably a really great thing for leverage. You know, when that fish is shaking around and that's got freedom of movement and such, not only are you going to get a really unique vibration out of that kind of arm on a spinnerbait, but that fish doesn't have a lot of leverage to throw that hook on that 3/8 ounce head on that spinnerbait. So I bet that's what's going on with that. It's just another really interesting idea, another cool concept in the world of bass fishing coming out on the market. And I may be wrong, maybe that's not what it's all about, but I couldn't tell you because everything on the back of that package is in Japanese. So just another really cool bait out of the mystery tackle box. I'm gonna cut out of this little joint right here. I'm gonna move into another spot where the wind's blowing a little harder. I found a little bit of shade, so I thought I'd play this card and see if it worked out, but nothing yet on the spinnerbait. And I'm gonna throw that jig a little bit more in some of the wood that I'm heading towards along with this spinnerbait, and the sun's dipping. So as the shade line gets deeper, that little rat might come out and hopefully give us a topwater bite, so stay tuned. Okay guys, so we have perfect spinnerbait conditions when it comes to the wind and the breeze, but it's summertime and 87 degrees surface water temperature does not make it easy for those fish to want to go up shallow or to even get close enough to the surface where they might even want to come up through that warm water column to smack a spinnerbait. The fish are pretty deep. The drop shot kind of proved that, so I got the hope and dream that I can catch something on this killer little jig here that I've teamed up black and blue with little green pumpkin trailer, but I'm going to catch some fish. I'm going out on this main point here. I'm going to break out that drop shot again, see if that shimmer shad and little dream shot want to pick up a couple fish just for the entertainment of it and just to clarify and prove that those fish are pretty much deep. And then I might go ahead and throw that jig down deep and ride that through the weed beds and see if I can pick one of the ones up that aren't eating the drop shot. So let's just see what we can do off this point and go from there. Nice. Oh baby, tiny little guy. Well, I'm out here on the point, guys. I even had to switch points because I'm telling you, it's one of those crazy, crazy tough summer days, and I got myself a dink on that little catch go, shimmer shad. So at least I got myself a fish and not boring myself to death, as tiny as it is, and I can't even get him because he's so feisty. Itty bitty summertime little bass on a point. Well, I'm gonna keep fishing. The sun's still up. We got time, so let's just keep on at it and see if we can find a couple more bigger fish. I'm gonna go back and forth. I'm actually gonna go back and forth between that shimmer shad and the dream shot. So let's see what the dream shot has to offer. See if they can catch a fish off this point. Okay, here we go. Sometimes you feel like you're on a weed and then you got a nice bass. All right, that makes up for that little dink on that a little catch kill. I ended up getting the dream shot out and got a pretty chunky fish. I came to the back side of the point where it drops off and found myself another fish on a warm afternoon in July. Decent little fish. See that trapper hook doing its job again. Yeah, he's really pegged good. Yep, he sure is. Man, that hook is doing its job. That's pretty cool. There's another fish, guys. Just another drop shot fish thanks to the mystery tackle box this month. I'm just gonna keep fishing with the drop shot. I just know for a fact this jig, the spinner bait, it's just not gonna happen. It's just one of those baits I'm gonna save for a better day, maybe a rainy day, because sometimes the rainy days are those days that moving baits tend to work best. But boy, you look around me, bluebird skies, crystal clear, 87-degree water. It's drop shot time. Thanks, mystery tackle box. I got 2 baits to play with. Let's see if I can get it in here without losing my dream shot. All right, so you see that buoy marker out there? I'm literally marking fish. There goes the dream shot. Oh, I got it. Okay, so I can get to use that one again. Another dink off a point. That was the very first cast right after dropping that buoy marker. I'm just going over the point and finding the weed edge and marking fish. I marked some, didn't know how big they were going to be. That's a sign of how big they might be. So I'm going to keep throwing on the point, see if I can find another one. But the drop shot, guys, it's just saving the day. I'm sitting in 38 feet of water, if that gives you an idea how deep these fish are. The drop off starts out at about 10, so 10 foot and then sheer drop almost all the way down to 28 feet. That fish was probably deeper than 20, maybe 20, 21 feet deep is where he was. All right, dream shot strikes again on a point, and this is a bigger fish. It's not a dink, but at least it's a bigger fish. That's great. All right, cool. So we've got a bunch of dinks. I mean, I caught so many I can't even tell you. I'm running out of dream shots, and I'm only down to about 2 of the shimmer shads. And I just lost another dream shot. These things are soft, that's what happens, but it catches fish. So here's another little guy. Oh, mega buttoned in the nose. All right, let's just get him in here like so. Another beautiful fish on a nice summer's day. So I moved my way off that point. There was a bunch of dinks on. I was catching all kinds of dinks. They were just tearing up the drop shot baits, but look how calm it is. It is absolutely dead, slick, calm. The pelican is not even moving an inch. So when it's like that, guys, and how fortunate am I to have 2 baits and an incredible drop shot hook and drop shot weights in my mystery tackle box this month. Absolutely killer. It's just day saver. I just never know when I'm going to get out and get a chance to break this box open and challenge the baits in it. And in this case, the baits are all awesome. I'm going to find a great time to use the spinner bait, the jig. I haven't even thrown the topwater hollow body rat yet. It's just too high sun and too calm a situation. So as soon as that's time, I'm going to throw it a little bit before the night is over. But I'm just so happy I got the drop shot and have a handful of fish to show for it. Okay, there we go. That feels like a little bit bigger fish. Let's see what we got. Oh, what do we got here? Uh-oh, let's see if it's digging. It's digging pretty good. That's a good bass. Good deal. Don't jump. Let's stay down. Awesome. Okay, we're doing pretty good on some decent little keepers here. So let's get this one in here and see if we can find a couple more, even bigger than that. Awesome. Good deal. There goes the dream shot. Gotcha. Look how beautiful it is in that setting sun right there. And again, I'm going to keep showing it to you because that is the concept and that is the idea of that trapper hook. So it's definitely doing its job. I haven't lost a fish. I haven't lost a fish all day. I had a couple fall off the hook here in the boat, but they got in the boat before they fell off the hook. So we're in good shape. Nice little chunky bass. Okay, one more stop. We have one more stop with a drop shot before out comes what I'm going to show. Actually, I'll show it to you now. I got enough sun, enough light to show off what I'm going to be doing with this little rat. So we're going to be throwing that rat on a medium heavy 6.5 foot rod with a high-speed reel and 30-pound test. It's a real small little rat, and this lake doesn't have any pads. It doesn't have any mats of weeds. I'm basically going to be throwing it in open water up on the banks in some hard cover, in some wood. So a little short rod and this type of rat, I'm going to actually walk the bait. I'm going to actually walk it across the surface. So a shorter rod's going to give me the action that I need out of it, and plenty of backbone to set the hook, because they're not going to be very short casts. And braid 30-pound test because it's a smaller bait altogether, and it's going to give me a floating line, and it's going to be an instant hook set with no stretch. So we're good to go. We're hooked up and ready to go for the rat as the sun dips. We're going to hit one more spot for the drop shot and see if we can land maybe 1 or 2 more fish. All right, folks, so the sunglasses are off, and just means one thing: the sun is set, the drop shot's going up, and it's time to pick up the top water hollow-bodied frog, the Kahara, rat, whatever they want to call it. And I got a couple spots for that, so hopefully we'll get a top water bite before this night's over. Mystery tackle box this month has been awesome. It's been great to get out here in one of the craziest, toughest type of days that you could ever have to fish, but to have, again, 2 baits for a drop shot setup is pretty darn awesome. So let's get moving. Let's go over this spot where I have some hard cover on the bank and see if we can get something to pop the surface with this rat. Little grass line and a little bit of wood hiding in there from some laydowns. So let's see what we can do here. I'll take a dink on top water. I don't care how big it is. There we go. Oh, I got a bite on the rat, guys. Oh, and I gave it a good pause, but he was a little guy. He was on there for a second, so that actually makes my night. Oh gosh, I got a topwater bite on my mystery tackle box rat and rats. Okay, let's keep going. We still have a little bit of time, so we at least got to blow up. So that's a night maker right there. Let's keep going. I'd say this looks pretty topwater bassy, wouldn't you? This is gonna be my last spot of the night, so hopefully this little hollow body rat will find some bass, but if not, we gave it a gallant effort. All right, folks, I've scurried my little hollow-bodied rat across the surface of the water for the last time. It's time to call it. It's been a pretty good day out on the water for an afternoon fishing out here in my local lake. Tough day, but it's the dog days of summer, so you can't complain about catching a handful of chunky fish, and I'm definitely not going to complain about it considering I got them on a group of baits out of the Mystery Tackle Box Pro Box. So folks, if you're interested in Mystery Tackle Box, Pro Box, Standard Box, whatever it may be, go to mysterytacklebox.com, check out the website, treat yourself to a subscription, and be sure to use the code YTFV. Get yourself $10 off the first month of your subscription. So folks, as always, appreciate you joining me. As always, I appreciate you subscribing. And until we meet again, over and out.